Hello, my name is 𝗪𝗡𝗥𝗞 from 𝗪𝗧𝗏𝗪𝗏, and this is part 2 of the video series 11 spiritual lessons that we can learn during this coronavirus world pandemic. So in the last video, I went over the first few of the lessons. So if you have not seen that, I would recommend that you check that out first. And so in this video, I'm going to continue off with the 7th spiritual lesson that we can learn from this whole experience, because I believe that everything that we experience in life, especially hardships and obstacles and challenges, have gifts and treasures within them that we can learn. And if you are a spiritually minded person and you're into personal growth, spiritual growth, then I'm assuming you agree with that statement and that you believe that there are a lot of things that you can learn from anything, especially this experience. So I just kind of want to go over what opportunities that we all have to learn so that we can grow and evolve as a person. We can expand our consciousness, we can raise our vibration, and we can create a better world. Okay, so the 7th spiritual lesson that we can all learn from this is love and connection. So I feel like love is the remedy for everything. We are love, like in our essence, we are love. We are the energy of love. Like right now, it's really, really easy to hate. And because we're isolated from people, right, through social distancing and we're quarantined and things like that, we're kind of like, I wouldn't say disconnected from people, but definitely distant from people. And even I noticed that, like when I'll go to the grocery store or I'll go for like a walk and I happen to see another person, that they're like more distant now. They're almost like less open and like smiley and like saying hi. Well, first of all, they're probably like scared or stressed or like obviously not in a good place. But I feel like it's just kind of created this like wedge between humans. Like we're scared to touch each other. We're scared to walk next to each other. Oh my God, the virus, let's stay away, social distancing, 6 feet apart, which is like, it needs to be done. But it's also sort of like created a sense of like separation. Like when we see each other in the physical, like it feels more separate. I wouldn't say that it necessarily feels separate, like on a bigger scale. Like I do feel connected to humans because we're all going through the same thing at once. So it's a very connecting experience, but it's very easy to get lost in fear. And fear is a very negative, separate self energy. Like I'm separate from you, right? Fear, like there's you and there's me. I'm scared of this. Like it's not like a loving and connecting energy. And I think right now what we need most is love. We need to give love. We need to spread love. We need to feel love. We need to see with the eyes of love. We need to see life from the eyes of love and not fear and not hatred and not negativity. We need to, the way we connect with other human beings, the way we connect with ourselves, the way we connect with God, the universe, the divine, is through love. Love is the highest vibration there is. So that's who we are in essence. That's our true nature, love. So to embody our true nature is like the ultimate, right? And I really feel like this experience is calling us to get together rather than separate more. So instead of blaming and judging and hating, we need to love and connect and care and nurture and have compassion for other people. We need to fall in love. We need to fall in love with what we have, with life, with this moment, with everybody out there risking their lives, healthcare workers, all the essential workers. Like we need to be in love. We need to be more loving and grateful. We just need to have compassion for people who are suffering, people who are hungry right now, who don't have homes. So the whole idea is to come from an energy of love and to really adopt that energy and get into that energy space and to see how we can be of service, even from our homes, right? How can you spread your light onto other people who need it, right? Your light is your love. That's how you give your love, is through your loving energy, your positive energy, your light, not your darkness, your light. So focus on being that light and shining your light as much as you can onto other people and onto the world, onto your family, And it's not only going to make you feel better and like raise your vibration, it's going to make the people around you feel better, and it's just going to be like a nicer time. Like you're just going to go through this quarantine in like a more positive way. A part of that is also to reach out to your loved ones, right? Like you can text them, you can FaceTime them, you can call them, whatever, and just see how they're doing. I mean, you have a lot of time, you know, catch up with old friends, catch up with family members who you haven't talked to in a long time. Just really try to connect with people instead of keeping yourself isolated and separated. You know, if you feel called to check up on someone or to see how they're doing, do it. You know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Reach out, ask how they're doing, send them your love, and that's it. And it'll make them feel better. The 8th lesson that we can learn from this experience is to find your inner strength. This is a very taxing experience. It's really, really testing us. And I think it's calling us to rise. I think it's really asking for us to, instead of falling and just giving up and just losing all hope and just, you know, I think we're really asked to rise and to find our strength and our courage and our power, our inner power, to deal with all of this in the healthiest, most positive manner that we can. Let's not lose ourselves to this experience. You know, let's not give our power away. Let's stay strong. You know, like when we think it can't get worse, it does. And that really, really builds strength. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to build strength no matter what. But if you're consciously choosing to stay strong and to not give up, even in times of adversity, like super like hardship, you know, from this experience, I think that's when you really find your true power and what you're capable of. You really tap into all of those reserves that you've been holding in that you don't even know exist. They all come out because this is really, really asking us of a lot. And so it's really helping us to come out really, really empowered and strong. And obviously, like if you're struggling and like you're going through a tough time, like it's okay. You know, don't think that like, no, I have to be strong, I have to be strong, I can't cry, I can't be depressed. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that like inner strength also requires that you feel all of your feelings. That you're strong enough to own it. You're strong enough to be like, yeah, I don't feel good and I'm depressed and I'm sad and I feel this way and it's okay. I'm going to let myself feel that way. Like I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I think that takes a lot of courage, you know, especially for like men. Like they don't think that they can cry or that they can be emotional when they're sad. And so they like put on this tough face or whatever, and some women too, and they act all tough. And it's like, no, like it takes so much strength to be vulnerable and to just let yourself be a mess, you know? So it's kind of like a paradox. It's like be strong and like override your fear, but also like feel it and like allow yourself to like be with it. Give yourself space to be with whatever it is that you feel. But once it's done and once you've processed it, that's where your strength, that's where that strength comes. You know, well, the strength comes from letting yourself feel it. That's already a lot of strength. But like the strength after that comes from, okay, how am I going to rebuild? How am I going to get stronger? How am I going to deal with this? What can I do to make my situation better? That's where you find strength. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity to tap into our inner strength. Okay, so the 9th spiritual lesson that we can learn from this experience and through this experience, through going through this experience, is, I don't know, I think it's kind of my favorite one, but it's to go within and to heal our inner wounds. So I feel like this experience is really triggering a lot of our like inner demons, darkness, whatever you want to call it. Because like if you have let's say a fear of loneliness, well, this is definitely going to trigger that fear, you know, like if you have to deal with like being alone, it's something that you're going to have to deal with. You can't run away. If you have an addiction to shopping, and you can't go shopping, you're going to have to deal with that. If you have an addiction to working and to staying busy, busy, busy and go, go, go. Well, you know, if you don't have a job right now, like that's probably going to be something that you have to finally face. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like wanting to work or anything like that, but like, you know, sometimes they're like, oh, okay, maybe they're not addictions, but like maybe they're like really strong like dependencies, something that like you kind of depend on and it's kind of become part of your normal lifestyle, and it really, really sucks not to have it, and it really kind of hurts. That's your moment. That is your opportunity to fill the emptiness that you feel inside, the emptiness that you feel without that thing, that activity or person or whatever, the emptiness that you feel. This is your opportunity to go within and to fill your own emptiness, right? To fill yourself up, to fill your heart with your own self-love. It's beautiful. This is your opportunity to fill yourself with your own attention, your own validation. It's to learn to really enjoy yourself. It's to really learn to love your own company, to learn to love what you actually already do have, to learn to explore other things that you might like to do. Man, I mean, it's literally, I think this lesson encompasses all the previous lessons, because it's really just an opportunity to face your shit. Like anything that's been bothering you, anything that triggers you, this is the chance when you can really work on it and heal, because of all the triggers, because of how many things it's bringing up within you. It's really coming out, right? It's like coming out full force, like head on, like rapid speed. And you can either push it back down. I don't want it. You know, let me drink some alcoholic beverage to numb that pain out, or let me distract myself with this activity or whatever. Let me just pretend like that didn't happen or it doesn't exist or whatever. Or you can be like, okay, all right, what are you trying to tell me? What's happening? Like what is this pain I feel? What is this wound? What is this unresolved issue? Okay, let me heal. Let me work on that. And you can heal it through all of the previous things that we talked about, literally. Self-love, finding happiness within, letting go of attachments, surrendering, having trust, living in the present moment. All of those things are ways that you heal these wounds. The 10th spiritual lesson that we can learn from this pandemic is to find your creativity. So it's to tap into your creative powers. For one, we have a lot of time on our hands to be creative. We have to be creative because we're so freaking bored, probably. And there's only so many things that we can do that it's like forcing us to get creative, like face masks. They don't sell them anywhere in the stores. I don't know how many of you went on YouTube to try to see how to make one, but I did. I mean, I went on and I made my own face mask. And then I settled with the bandana because it was just better. Because we're so limited with what we're allowed to do, like we can't do the normal things that we do, it's kind of forcing us to discover new activities and to discover new ways of doing things and to do things that we never would have done before, wanted to do before, could have done before, would have done before, like making a face mask, you know? So like you really tap into your inner skills and gifts and talents, sort of because you have no other choice. The other aspect of that is boredom. So we probably, like how many of us probably feel super bored a lot lately? And so when we get bored, I feel like there's this emptiness that we feel. And we feel this empty space, and we try to fill the emptiness with things. So we're like, oh, I don't like this feeling, I'm bored. Okay, let me go eat, let me watch TV, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. So we try to fill the moment, this bored moment where you're lacking creativity. We try to fill it with some sort of an activity to take away the boredom, right? But maybe that activity isn't necessarily like the most entertaining, or it's not really like, we're not really vibing with it, but we're doing it anyway just because we're bored. So we're eating because we're bored, and then we feel like shit after. So there's so many things that we do out of boredom that aren't necessarily good for us. So my whole thing with boredom is like, feel the boredom. Feel that right now you have no idea what you want to do, you don't feel like really doing anything, and just sit with it. Just sit with feeling bored. Let it be. And once you're just there, being with your boredom, you really start, it's like a meditation, so you're tapping into the present moment. And when you tap into the present moment, when you meditate, you're tapping into your inner guide, your inner guidance system, your intuition, your inner self, your deeper self. And that is where all creativity lies. So if you just sit with your boredom, sort of like in meditation, just let the pain be. Like, I know it's uncomfortable to feel bored, but just be present and just calm down, slow down, let it be, just let yourself be bored. After a few minutes, you're gonna start to feel better, you're gonna start to feel more at peace, but then you're gonna have these real actual ideas of what you want to do, more of like on a soul level, like something that's more aligned with your soul. You're gonna find inspiration. There's gonna be things that are gonna come to the surface that you couldn't have otherwise thought of with your mind. So they come from within you. They come from deep within you. That's your inner creativity. So that's how you get in touch with that, and that's how you deal with boredom. And then you figure out what activity that you want to do, and then you're not bored anymore. Also, not only are you discovering something that you'd actually want to do during this meditation, but you're now okay. You're like, oh, I don't even need to do anything. This is good enough. Like, I'm present, I'm chill, like I feel good. And then you get out of your meditation, and even if you don't have this like urge to do something, you're content. You're like, oh, look, you know, that's so nice, or this is so nice, or oh, and then you're just like naturally curious about life because you're like in a better space now. You're more connected to yourself. And then from that moment, you'll probably start to do something. Okay, so that's creativity. Last but not least, the 11th spiritual lesson that we can learn from this experience, which is so important, is mindset mastery. So it's learning to control your mind and your thoughts, which controls your emotions and your feelings. So I talked about this in my other video, how to shift out of fear and into a state of calm. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. But it's just, if you watch the news, like, it's just crazy, and like it's gonna take over your mind, and you're just gonna be living in fear, and you're gonna be focusing on all the negative and just worrying and being anxious and being all of those things. That's not gonna really do you any good. Like, it really isn't. And really, I think that this experience is calling us to realize that we are in control. Like, yeah, we don't have control over the outside world right now and like what is happening, but we have control over our mind. We always do. That is our power. That is our God-given power. We can control our mind and our perspective. We can choose to focus on what we want to focus on. So instead of focusing on all the bad and all the negative, we can focus on the good, the hope, having faith, paying attention to the beautiful things, being in appreciation. You know, we can choose to enjoy this experience. We can choose to enjoy our free time. We can choose to have fun and try to make the best of this. Try to make the best of what we're going through. You know, what other time are you going to have this opportunity to have all of this free time to do nothing? Probably never. So how can you make the best of it? What can you do with all of this time? Even if it's like not the most glamorous activity, like watching a whole season of whatever. Like, what can you do with this time and actually have fun and enjoy it? You know, instead of being in that negative, heavy space, this is training us, sort of, and showing us that we can control our mind and that we can choose to focus on thoughts and beliefs and ideas that resonate with us on a deeper level, that feel good to us, that make us feel good. Because when you're focusing on this more positive aspect of a situation or of life or of our experience right now, of your experience, you start to feel better, right? You start having more positive emotions and feelings, and that just helps us get through this a lot easier, a lot quicker. And the other thing with that is, like, focusing your mind on the present moment, which we already talked about, but like it's so important to not be waiting for this to be over, because if you're in that waiting energy, it's like a very lack energy and like you're not surrendered. And when you're waiting, you can't have fun. You can't like go and just be free because you're waiting, right? So like stop waiting, stop focusing, hope and want and desire, that's fine. Like, yeah, we all want this to be over and we all want life to get back to normal, whatever that will be. We all want life to be better. We want to, you know, do our things. We want to do the things that we miss. Yes, of course, acknowledge that. It's okay. And that's going to come up here and there. And it's totally okay to feel that pain and be sad and whatever. But after that, just remember and realize that you are in control of yourself, of your everything. And you have the power to make this a positive experience or a negative experience. And you ultimately have all of the control. You have the power. You have the power within you to be happy, to be grateful, to be present, to accept what's happening, or to, you know, that other stuff that we're not even going to talk about because it's not worth it. Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful. I know that it's a lot of stuff that I covered, but I really hope that you can learn one of these lessons during this time. Like commit to just one. Just focus on just being happy within yourself, for example. You know, obviously this is a lot going on, a lot to do, and I know that they all intertwine or whatever, but like just pick one and just focus on that and see how much it changes your life. See how much it makes everything better and lighter and happier and more acceptable and more enjoyable and all of those beautiful things that we want out of life. So let me know if you like this video, and please like, share, and subscribe for more videos that will be coming soon. And I hope that you all stay safe and healthy and well, and I wish you nothing but the best. Bye.